So I hoped to go out with a friend, a buddy from high school, for a new comic book day, or free comic book day. It didn't work out, but I still made a kind of lone wolf mini comic book crawl. Let me show you what I got. Hi, this is James for Read More Comics. As I said in the intro, it didn't work out. I ended up lone wolfing it and hitting a couple different places for free comic book day. I got most of the books I wanted. There were a couple that eluded me, and I'll be honest, I didn't do enough research for some of the books I saw at my LCS, and I ended up picking up some books that maybe it was a mistake, but who knows? Maybe they're great reads. So let's go ahead and get into it. Uh, so I went to three places. I went to Realms Games, and I think it's Realms Games and Comics now. It's in downtown Mishawaka. It was rebranded. It used to be Warehouse Comics and Games, and they had a gorgeous setup there. Huge number of long boxes, great back stock. Though it didn't seem like it had a lot of turnover, like there wasn't as much older books that I would have liked to see. They had to move to a new location because of some business issues with one of their partners. A lot of drama, if you want to look it up online. Actually, someone's been arrested for something. So they rebranded their Realms, no, not Realms, Rivals uh, cards and comics, I think. I don't know. The comics section is small. It's modest is probably a better way to put it. A large part of their floor space is taken up for collectible card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. And I'm into that stuff. I just don't go there to play. I prefer something casual with my buddies on Spell Table. Anyway, so we went there first. And they had a 10% off sale. So two things. One, you get four free comic books if you buy something. And I make it a habit. I think it's just good. It's just etiquette. It's being polite. Free comic book day really isn't free for these businesses. It's something else. So they were having a sale. I bought some comic books that fit my collecting goals, and so we'll look into those in a moment. So I got the Spider-Man. Uh, I typically get this Amazing Spider-Man book, whatever it is, because it has a Miles Morales story into it. Sometimes there's a key appearance, but not often. This one is connected somehow to the Queen in Black, not an event that I'm really interested in at all. I got Avengers Armageddon, another Marvel event. Not really interested in it. This is kind of connected, though. It's tangential to Zdarsky's Captain America run, which I've been enjoying for the most part, though the last arc has been kind of stale for me. Picked it up anyways. It has X-Men in it. Not really excited about X-Men either, but I try to get the big two books. Energon Universe last year was a lot of fun, even though I don't read their most of their books. I read G.I. Joe, and that's it. But I picked this one. Well, it has Mask on the front. This was back in the 80s, this was not a collectible action figure that I could afford. You know, I did G.I. Joes because I could mow yards and pick up one or two of them for lawn mowing money. Mask were a lot more expensive because you had to buy the vehicle to get the action figure. This was one I wanted to get though. Conan the Barbarian, Tyrant of the King. Tides of the Tyrant King. Roberto de la Torre on the cover. Look at that. He's kind of he reminds me of John Buscema in a lot of ways, or Ernie Chan. Kind of like, it's really good. Anyway, Conan's been awesome. Titan's been doing a great job, and I was looking forward to getting this book. This is one of them that I was actively going, hey, I want this because I'm pulling this title. The books I bought, I got four there, and so 10% off. It was under 20 bucks. Two of them are collecting goals, and then anytime I have a chance, down low key, I'm also collecting Conan the Barbarian. So we got Fantastic Four, 217 and 218. Pencils are both done by John Byrne. We got a Conan the Barbarian, issue number 34. This was actually, I looked at, this was John Buscema, I think. I think. I had to look it up. I'll double check. Put it right here. And then I got this one right here. This is 143. I totally misread CLZ, and I already have a copy of this. So this could be an upgrade, though. It was only a couple bucks. Like, this was the expensive one because it was older, and then this one was less expensive, I think. And then with the two Fantastic Four, like all of these, they worked out to be $18. So with 10% off. And one of these, I think it was $217. Maybe this is a minor key or something like that, and so it was a little bit more expensive. And then $218 because it has a soft corner up here, and it's seen some reading. It's had a life. Was a little less expensive. Anyway, then I went to Buy Me Toys, and I'd already gotten the books that I was kind of looking for. So at Buy Me Toys, you got 5 books. I wanted to get the DC book, which I did, and I was hoping to get Ablaze has the Sumerian People of Black Circle or the Black Pool. I don't remember. Ablaze Publishing is reprinting, I think they're graphic novels from France because Conan is in the public domain. And so they reprint those in floppies. And I wanted to get that because the art is phenomenal. You get some really interesting European artists on it and the colors that they use. It's pretty cool. But they didn't have it. And then the other books, I was kind of like, well, that it was just basically cover stuff. It wasn't, the cover is what hooked me. So we got DC Next Level, and this is just previewing all these comic books right here. I'm hoping there's something related to Absolute Universe, or what is it? Absolute Crisis is coming up. I was hoping they'd have something like that, but it didn't look like it. Nice House on the Lake. I think this is a pretty big comic book for Free Comic Book Day. I think this is the entire first issue. I've never read it, and so I went, okay, I'll give that a try. We have this one where it's Planet of the Apes, Aliens, and Predator. I have no idea what this is about. I like aliens, though, so I grabbed it. Minotaur, this is Cy Spurrier's doing this. Don't recognize the artist at all. It looked kind of sci-fi. You know, it has a sci-fi vibe to it, maybe a little cyberpunk, which I like both genres. I suppose cyberpunk's just a subgenre. So I grabbed it. The cover looked kind of cool. And then I saw this on, this must have been a Free Comic Book Day preview, some website. I don't know. So this is The Name She Lost, Nana. This is written by Tim Seeley and someone else I don't recognize. So this is about Nana, the Mesopotamian goddess. And so I'm a social studies teacher. I'll pick that up. Now, there were some other books that in hindsight, maybe I should have grabbed instead of these two. I wanted to check out Dungeon Crawler Carl, but apparently that's the spec book, and so no one had it. No, that's not right. When I went to Rivals, I saw it there. Maybe I should have picked it up. I don't know. It's a manga thing or anime. I don't know. The other one, there was one by Matt Kint. I like him as a writer. Passed it up because I didn't recognize the book as something he was writing. I didn't look at the names. I just looked at the cover and said, I don't know who this is. So, and at Buy Me Toys, I picked up some supplies. Sorry, I have an itch. I got some more dividers for comic book boxes because I got some more labels in from Blind Science. I picked up Warbird. This is a bad idea book written by Robert Venditti. He did one of my favorite volumes of Exo Man of War, so I'll give it a try. And I've enjoyed the other things he's done. This is like an ash can. It was for $1.99. And then because I'd gotten recently in a mail call the Marvel DC Superman Spider-Man book, I went, hey, I'll get, or the Spider-Man Superman book, I'll get the Superman Spider-Man book. Some of the reviews, there's some really good stories in there. There's some that are kind of lame. I'm okay with that. It's an anthology book. I went with the Archer cover. What intrigues me about this is I remember when Art Germ kind of exploded. This is pre-COVID. So it's a good 10, 12, 13 years ago. Oh, oh, the color made it look like the corner was bent. That was going to bother me. And he had a very specific style. And this is an Art Germ cover. Don't get me wrong, but like the faces, it's different. There's some maturation in his style. So these were my two pickups there. And then I went to Half Price Books because they had advertised that they were doing free comic book day. And I went, hey, this will be pretty cool. Maybe I'll be able to get the book that I haven't gotten yet. Well, what they were doing was they had a short box. Oh, man, sorry. Of free comic book day books. People had sold them. And they were giving those away for free. And they were all older things that are either didn't interest me or I already had it. They had another short box with signed books. I kind of flipped through that. There was some cool stuff, a lot of Frank Cho stuff. But I think with signatures and leave a comment down below if you're like this. For me, if I get a book signed, part of it is the memory. I'm like memorializing the moment where I went out and I did this thing. I went to a comic book convention. I went to a signing, whatever it is. The signature is a part of that. And having the book, like I'm curating the books I want signed. These were just books in a box. And while I'd love to have a Frank Cho signature, those weren't books I'd want him to sign. They were mostly Harley Quinn stuff because Harley Quinn was like, he became the Harley Quinn cover guy. There were some other books in there too that were signed, but it was like, it would be more enjoyable if I actually went out and did it. It's part of the hunt, I guess. So I went through, and something I typically skip is they have cases that are locked up, and usually they're $5 and more books. And so I flipped through those, and there were some books in there that attracted my attention. I went, hey, I want those. So we have Fantastic Four issue number 184. This is like a VG, maybe a VG plus. It has a bunch of spine ticks on it, but this book came out in the 70s, like 1974. So, pencils by George Perez. I didn't know he did any of that. So I picked up this, and I thought that was kind of cool. This is a key, first appearance of the Eliminator. I don't know if that means anything because Fantastic Four has, or this is a minor key. There are a lot of keys, like first appearance of Black Panther, first appearance of Galactus, Silver Surfer, The Watcher. Those are big books. The Eliminator, probably not so much. Check out he's like, he has no hair, and he has this helmet thing. And what type of weapon is this? Like, what is that? He looks bigger than, like, in context, he's bigger than everybody else. But anyway, but they did have, and this was some John Byrne books I was looking for. They had Superman Man of Steel, all except issue number 1. We have issue number 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a cool cover. And 6. So I was able to pick up all of these. And all of these books were $5 a piece, which I thought was pretty good. The John Byrne Man of Steel books are in pretty reasonable shape. They do have some tanning right here. I don't know. I looked through the pages, and the color of the pages aren't tanned like that. So I don't know if it was, it's very uniform. Like you can see it on, I don't know if you can see it here. Almost can. So it's like a line right there. So I don't know if it was sitting in a pile or if it was something in front of it, but they all of them except obviously this issue you can see that, so it's interesting. This is a run that I've been looking for. One, I like John Byrne. I like his art. When I've been looking at getting into Superman a little bit more because I enjoy the character. I think Superman is, as a superhero, the person that, as a normal person, I would want to be. Like he he's the type of person I would want to become. Okay, not this, not the super strength and all that. It's just the ethos, the morality, sense of right and wrong, of sacrifice. I think he is the person everybody should try to strive for. And when I've done some research into, well, what are phenomenal Superman runs, because I don't want to like have Action Comics, 800 issues of that, or Superman or what, I want to be very intentional. This is one of the runs that comes out as being memorable for that. So I didn't expect to pick this up, but here I am. So there we go. That was my free comic book day quest, my kind of mini comic book crawl all by myself. If you enjoyed listening to me ramble on, please do like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about the books I picked up. Did you do free comic book day? What books were you looking for? Were you hunting for? Did you pick up any other books in your journey? Do you feel that that is something that is just good etiquette when you go to a store? You get free comic books, you pick up something. Let me know what you think. Thanks for listening to me ramble on. And don't forget, life is so much better when we read more comics.